I know we just went live like an hour ago, but we're gonna do it again. So I figured, why not? Let's have some fun. And if you guys got any questions about this one, his haircut, by the way, his haircut's kind of a bitch. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. And doing this live is kind of, you know, it's just kind of a risk. But I don't really care, man. I don't really have pride like that. Like, I'm telling you guys right now, every barber can make mistakes, and every barber can do these steps. And we're gonna go through. So I'm gonna get started. I know some of you guys are about to jump up in the room quick. So this time I'm gonna put my line in, actually with my sabers. So I got them in the closed position, and you know the sabers are just gonna eat right through this bulk. We're gonna curve the guideline as always. And I can't believe everybody's jumping back in the room already. I feel like I just left y'all. You thought I was done? Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? But I figured, like, why not, man? I got everything set up. I recharged the camera a little bit, and we're back in business. So, like I said, man, his haircut, pretty tough. He said, at some point, can you cover an update on lighting? I swear I will. I will. And if you notice, I sort of updated my lighting scenario since the last cut. I wasn't happy with how that lighting was looking, so I brought down one of my other lights over here, and I got a third light that's not plugged in right now, but we'll get to it. Smash that like button, man, if you guys appreciate this. I'm going live 2 times. Already got 400 views in 1 hour on the other live. And hopefully Rusty gets in here, because if Rusty gets in here, I'm going to tell him to please make me some thumbnails for these live cuts. So this is a perfect situation for you guys to ask questions, and, you know, don't be shy, all right? I might be zoomed in a little bit, am I? No, I'm not. All right, we got 17 people in the room already, which is pretty good. We held down like 60 to 70 subscribers pretty much throughout most of that last live. I think it was between 50 and 60 the entire time. So we're gonna curve this guideline a little bit, and you guys are gonna see, man, when we get into this blend, it's gonna be a bit of a fight. It always is with his hair, and I have tried everything. Like, I've literally tried every method I could think of to make it easier, and it seems like it's almost always a fight. Doesn't really seem like there's one that really stuck out over the other. So I might as well use tools that make sense and make it happen. We'll also be doing his beard, which I might as well do a little bit now. So, yeah, your beard is like really in need. You are really in need. He looks like he just came out of a cave after a long slumber of hibernation. He said, "I love my Walmart cutter. I cut better than everybody here." And if you cut better than everybody there, and you're using something from Walmart, do you think that the Walmart thing is helping you or hurting you? I'm just gonna be real with you, because you know, Andis had Walmart kind of locked up though. I gotta say, Andis. It seems like Andis and Conair, aka Babeless, the not so what do you call it, professional version. But Conair is what their actual company is. They got a lot of stuff inside of Walmart too. But I can't even really talk trash about it because I've never used any of that stuff. All right, so we did that. If you guys noticed, I also have this Tomb 45 mat behind me. You guys can see how these are like sit. You know, it's kind of cool. They sit just like this. So tips on making each side even. Use the mirror. If you notice, I just walked around the front of him, and it's not about just making where it starts even, it's also making it even like above the ears, making sure the curve is about the same on both sides. Like, all that's gonna factor into making a good cut. I gotta move a little quicker on this one than I did for the previous one. So right now, this step, I'm just taking this is the sabers. These are about to release pretty soon here. And I'm coming up very close to that line, and I'm just sort of flicking out. The only reason I didn't use this in the first place was because I just wanted to preserve the blade on this. I don't really like to debulk with trimmers unless you guys ask me. Unless you guys ask me to do, like, that's what you did. Like earlier today, if you guys didn't see it, we did another live. I asked you guys to tell me how you wanted me to do it, and you guys said stamp that harsh line in. You know, thank you. You taught me how to fade. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. And you know, I know some of you guys dropped comments, and I haven't gotten back to them. I try my best to answer as many as I can, but it's hard. It's hard to get to everybody. But usually in these lives, this is a great time for you guys to ask your questions. You might have to ask it twice because I'm glancing at the camera here and there, but more than that, I'm kind of paying attention to my cut. So we got the Rebel electric shaver, and we're gonna go ahead and. So this hair is a little longer. This is gonna be a little bit more work for this electric shaver because I didn't cut the whole thing down to a trimmer line. I kind of just went up here. I'm being lazy. So we'll see how it does. And it just eats. I mean, look at that. Look how fast that is. And that's with like 3 zeros going. So that's not bad. Let me switch out to a brush. Now what I've noticed, especially with a lot of haircuts like his, I got to get this electric shaver as close as I can. I'm not flipping you off. As close as I can to this line here. Because it'll really make the fade look messy if you don't. So I want it to be about right where I left off, ideally with the trimmer, if I can. Have I used the FX3 shaver? Absolutely. If you guys been watching my channel, you guys will know that I did a full shootout with every electric shaver on the market, and the FX3 won. And now what I'm telling you is this is faster than the FX3. The battery life on the FX3 is longer than this. It's 3 hours and this is 100 minutes. But even at 100 minutes, this is just so much faster that for me, if it's about performance and price, this is only $79. I think 70 with my code would probably be even less. 75, 74, I've seen it sometimes. So you can order these now, but these are just so fast. So it's kind of hard to beat something that's fast for me. Even though the FX3 is a great machine, and I crowned it king. But there's definitely this is definitely something. I mean, look at this just eat right through. And realistically, I was talking about this on the other live, but if I could save 2 to 3 minutes on this electric shaver portion, think about what that adds up to in the week, the month, the year. I mean, that could make a lot of money. This thing will pay for itself, especially at such a cheap price point. I think it's going to sell well because it's in the same price bracket as the Andis Profoil. I don't think people were buying the Profoil because it was a particularly great machine. I think people were buying it because it was cheap. So this is a little bit of both. This is an inexpensive machine that just performs well. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next step. You said I love your videos. I only see 8 likes, and you have 30 people. Come on, man, hit it. This is 2 lives in one day. You guys gotta hit that thing. Let me know that you like this. Let me know that you like this content, and we'll do more of this. Like I said, guys, I can do this all day, even with a sore chest. My whole chest is sore from the tattoo I got yesterday. Okay, we got this in the open position. We got the paper blade on here, and we're gonna make the line the width of our pinky. If you guys would rather see me use a taper blade maybe on the other side, I'm down to do that. Let me know. He said, what do you think of the detailer? Detailer is a good trimmer. It's a good and powerful trimmer, but much like everything Wall does, it's kind of underwhelming at this point because they're not really innovating anymore. Like their runtime is low, their blades are getting kind of older. They're not quite as sharp as the FX3, and they're definitely not as sharp as the Sabre. So that's kind of where we're at. Wall, in my mind, and Wall and Andis both, they got a little bit of work to do to catch up to what some of these newer companies are doing. Some of these newer companies are putting some pressure on them. So again, continuing with this, we'll comb it down here and there. Very important that you get this flat. It's got to touch flat on the scalp. A lot of times some of you guys are like this, or some of you guys are like that, and you're not getting all the way flat. Now, if you like to flip the wrist, that's fine, but at one point or another, you have got to get that length all the way down. We're going to be able to get that line out in between the space that we create here. So that's what we got to do. Wall does have longevity. There's no doubt. Wall's got products that last a while. It's great. You know, that's one thing that nobody can say different about them. It's just at this point they certainly have more longevity than Andis because a lot of Andis is made overseas and Wall's still making things in America. So I expect things to last that are actually made here. And that's at a great detriment to them. You know, you got to give them some credit for that because they certainly could make more money if they took it overseas. But they didn't. So I definitely give them credit where credit is due. It's just some of these companies have gotten themselves so big that they've created their own problems. Just by getting so big, they have no speed to market. They got too many cooks in the kitchen, too many engineers, and they can't make changes. All right, so we're on to the number one. We're gonna go 2 clicks open, 1, 2, and we're gonna do the same exact thing. Just a little line. We're looking to build a little weight line there. Same width, so at this point, all we're doing is we're putting in guidelines. I'm looking at how it looks in the camera, and it doesn't look nothing like this in person. It's that front-facing camera. It just looks terrible. But again, even if you're going to flick your wrist a little bit, make sure that you're getting it flat. Make sure that you're pushing it flat on the scalp, and you're maintaining that same width of your guideline all the way around the head. These are just putting in guideline steps, and shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. We got 19 likes. 19 likes in the building. That's awesome. And we're just flicking up, and we're creating this next guideline. And we are going to do the beard too. So stick around for that. Hopefully I don't have to fight too much on this blend today. We'll see what it's looking like. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to close this down. And I'm just touching the corner here. So I always try to encourage you guys to start it with 2 clicks open. There's a couple of reasons for that, but one of the main reasons is it makes life a little bit easier. It stops you from putting in lines that you might have trouble getting out. But these are guidelines. So if I tell you 2 click and flick, make sure that you move it if you feel like you have to. Like if you feel like you want to open it because you want to go up a little bit higher, then open it. You know, if you feel like you want to close it, if you want to stay a little bit lower, you know, then obviously close it. These are guidelines. But we're going to go to the next step of putting in guidelines, and we're going to go to the 1 1/2, and hopefully that 1 1/2 will make a good enough connection to the top that we can actually start our blend. So all we've really done now, for the most part, is we put in guidelines. So got the 1 1/2 on the Gamma Dubs, 2 clicks, 1, 2, and we're gonna keep going. Might have to use a 2 or some shear over comb or something like that. But I'm basically just trying to make that little connection to the top. And if you want to close it, you can close it too. You can see what that might do. Well, that's good. That's what I want to see. Starting to make a nice connection to the top. And little by little, we're getting it done. So again, back to 2 clicks. And we'll do this. Following those grain patterns. So the grain is sort of coming down in this direction now. So I want to go up and go against that grain pattern. What's the biggest challenge that you guys face as up and coming barbers? What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's skill related, or do you think it's financially related, or do you think it's like finding the right place to work? All that. What's up, really? What's up, man? He really already came and he already hang out for an hour. On the other cut that we did a basic 2 on the top, skin on the sides, and you guys can feel free to check that out when we're done with this live here. So, all right, now the battle begins. The stage is set. We're pretty much happy with. I just feel like that needs to be a little better. I couldn't look. Nope. Couldn't look at it.
It's embarrassing.
All right, I could look at it like that, but I just couldn't look at it like with a kick in the face, like a mule kicked me. All right, so the battle has begun. So all we've done so far, just to recap, we put in our skin line, we went underneath it with the electric shaver, we got really close. Then we did our open taper guideline, then we did our 1-2 clicks open, and we did our 1 1/2 2 clicks open. So now we're actually going to start blending. We haven't done really any blending yet. So now we're going to begin with the clipper in the closed position, and all I'm trying to do is keep it on an angle, only use the corner, and maybe move this light so it doesn't look so bad over here, because this light is like it's not cooperating. Wants to spin. I don't really need this plugged in anymore. Sorry, give me 1 second, y'all. God, we're free. All right, so here we go. We got it fully closed. I don't know if this could get a little bit closer, but I'm gonna try. Fully closed, and all we're trying to do is we're gonna stick right here where we put our trimmer line in. So a little corner action, and that's it. You guys ever watch Manolo? Don't be nasty. And that's it. Just the corner, and that's it. Don't put the whole blade flat. Very easy to make mistakes like that. We're gonna open it up now. The exact same process. That's really coming out nice. Very easy for you guys to get overwhelmed and start worrying about the rest of the haircut when all we need to is the one little step that's in front of us. Don't think about the beard. Don't think about the edge. Don't think about all that other craziness. Just think about the step that you're on and complete it. All right? He said, that really knocks my confidence when the photo doesn't look as good. Yeah, it's all right. It don't bother me. You know, I know I'm over here putting down the fire, so I'm not even going to let it bother me. All right, so we're going to go to the half, 1, 2. And let's keep in mind that I lost my half guard, so I don't even know what brand this half guard is, but it's not great, but it's been working. I got new guards coming from Gamma. We've like revised the zero guard, I guess. And I'm kind of excited to see what that does. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to open this up a little bit. I think it's because you can't see the shorter hairs in the blends, it picks up the longer hairs. You know, cell phones tend to over sharpen images, and if you add sharpening to an image and you see what it does, it sort of creates like distinction and lines and stuff that aren't really there with the naked eye. So it is what it is. These aren't Photoshop cuts, y'all. This is real deal, live and direct cuts. What other light's bothering my eyes? I had to move it. Every time I go to read a comment, my eyes are like. All right, so that's good. I'm gonna go with the 1, and one of the main reasons why we have a taper blade is for the forgiveness that it affords me. So I'm gonna go with the 1. I got it in the 2 clicks right now, but I'm just trying to be careful. And I'm trying to see what that might do. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna drop it. I'm telling you right now, I like how this is coming out on this side. This is coming out good. There's nothing left here that I want to do until I have my taper blade. So I'll be switching to my taper blade in a second. And until then, we're going to begin the process one more time. And we're going to do it over here. Things falling over this light. All right, so here we go. Same thing, fully closed. And we're just going to rock and roll with the corner. Just the corner and opening it. Just the corner, I'm opening it. Just drop it all the way back down again. That's looking nice. I like that. We worry about the back when we get there, but guys can see a little bit more of my view here. That's looking pretty good there. So, like I said, this all comes with time. Just, don't worry about some of the other areas. Just worry about the area you're working on. So one thing I'm going to do real quick, since I noticed that this area right here could be a little better, I went back to my trimmer, and I'm just going to knock out this very bottom part. Help break up that line a little bit. This just comes with time, man. Knowing where to go, knowing what tool to pick up in what order, all that comes with time and practice. All right? So we got the half guard. Again, we're going to go 2 clicks just to start out to see what that does. And again, I'm only touching one side of the blade, the corner. When I got like a fade blade in my hand or a fusion blade in my hand or whatever, I want to make sure that I'm just touching the corner. I don't want to create mistakes, especially when blending. So even though it looks like I'm flat, like I can literally fit my finger behind this. Like that's actually the way that I'm holding it. I can fit my finger behind it. I mean, look. So if I'm looking at something and I need to bring the blade down a little bit more, I can. But again, let's not forget that we have a taper blade, and it too has a purpose. And this is coming together pretty nice. Smash that like button if you like the cut. All right. This is a good risk coming through and making it happen for you guys twice in one day. I could have rested on the first one. I could have put my feet up. I could have said, you know what, I'm done today. I already did my YouTube thing today. But I just decided I would go the extra mile for you guys. And if you guys want to go the extra mile for me, you guys can become channel members. $4.99 a month, $5.99 a month. YouTube takes damn near all of that from me. So, what I'm left with, I might be able to buy some shoes at the end of the month. Daddy need new shoes, baby. I know, right? Golf shoes. 10 pairs of golf shoes. All right, same thing. I'm back to the close. And all I really care about in this step is just breaking up that line that I almost put in with the trimmer. Open it up a little bit. Yeah, blends can get really messy if you stretch them out too much. So like I said, when I did that original process, that phase 1, how you start every fade, I've talked about it in several videos, but it's just so important that you do that right, because if you do that right, when you get to this part, you won't struggle. It's just about like setting yourself up so that when you get to these more difficult parts of the haircut, you'll be able to do them without a fight. All right, same thing in the back, half guard, 2 clicks, 1, 2. And I realize this isn't probably the best camera view, so I'm going to turn them a little bit right here. So even though the blend appears to be coming together pretty good, we're going to go through with the taper blade, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to detail with that. The whole purpose of having that taper blade, and in case you guys are wondering like what clippers I'm using right now, like what's in my top rotation, like the two top things that I'm messing with right now is the sabers, which I'm about to pick up in a second, and the rubber. All right, I'm liking that. We're making it happen, and we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna detail now. So I'm switching over to the saber, which has a taper blade. The blade curves, so this blade is gonna cut a lot softer. So I could kind of go all the way up in the areas that might cause problems if I did that with anything else. As long as I'm keeping this on an angle, let that taper blade start to eat, let it kind of refine, and let the clipper do the work. Don't try to force it. I got this all the way closed, and there's always going to be a bit of a fight between where you put your skin line in and that number 2, but especially where that open taper is, where you put your skin line in and where the open taper is. There's always going to be a fight there. So you're going to want to have tools that are going to allow you to kind of not mess that up. And the 2 tools that work really well together are a fade blade and a taper blade. If all you cut with is a fade blade, get you a taper blade. You're going to see a difference. And obviously, if all you cut with a taper blade, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting some of these lines out. So you know you gotta have both. All right. Our blend is starting to come together, and it's starting to. Oh, this is the part that I like. You know, when you just put in the finishing touches on something that's just about perfect, and you really like it, that's the satisfaction that you get from doing this. 6 hour runtime. I don't even go near the charger for 2 days with this thing. All right. So watch it die. Watch it die as soon as I said that. 6 hour runtime. Watch it die. All right. I'll show you. It says what's a fade blade and what's a taper blade. There's probably more than one person wondering that. I know a lot of you guys know that. So I'll just show you real quick. This is an actual taper blade. It's a mixture between a fade blade and a taper blade. Because if you notice, there's ridges on the taper blade and it's bent. Doesn't cut the hair as close. Doesn't cut as much hair. So I could damn near take this all the way up here and it's not going to cut a line in it. Whereas this one, the way this blade cuts, it's very sharp. It'll cut very close and it will just eviscerate hair. Well, when you get towards the end of your haircut, you're not looking to eviscerate hair. You're looking to kind of maintain what you got going on and not create more problems for yourself, right? So we're gonna look. I got some shear over comb work that I could do to further refine this blend, and knowing when and where to kind of pull off of the clippers, that's also a pretty vital skill to learn. So I'm gonna put a little bit of hairspray in here. I haven't even cut the top yet, so just in case you're just now stopping by, I haven't even cut the top yet, but I'm gonna try to establish our like hard part. We're gonna still do that, right? Yeah, I'm gonna try to establish. Where it's been, like I'm looking like for this hard part that used to be here, and I'm trying to find it. I'm gonna try to position him just right so you can see. Why is that? Oh, it's the mirror. I'm like, looks like I got a picture. All right, so I'm gonna tip you like. Sorry, I know this is probably not the most comfortable, but we gotta show the people. We gotta show the people. The people's man, Ryan. All right, so here we go. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna tap in a really skinny line. Can you guys see that? Okay. All right, we're good. Now this is just a real faint line, and if anything, this just sort of helps impart it. Because like I told you in the beginning, man, his hair is a bitch. It just does whatever it wants. So this, we're not gonna get into a real edge up with him or nothing crazy. I just put a little bit of a cleanup where we did this hard part, and that's it. I just want him to have an easy place to part this at. So that's all that was. And as you guys can see, you're about to see this trimmer is about to beast through this like 19-day beard. It's not 19 days. All right, we're gonna cut the top a little bit. You want to cut the top? Maybe. Cut a little bit.
Been a week longer than that.
All right, so before I cut the top, I'm just gonna go ahead and let me see if I can zoom y'all in manually. Tip you this way a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just do a little bit of shear over comb. Now that I've established where that hard part was, there's a couple hairs that were kind of like long. And some of you guys might be wondering why I'm not using texturizing shears or something right now. Those of you guys who watch me do this a lot, you guys know that I sort of despise texturizing shears, and I use them when they're necessary, and I will use them. But it could just create some irreversible problems if you're not careful. And when you're really good at doing shear over comb, this is the way you want to handle the majority of your problems. Texturizing shears are a great tool to learn, though. And if you guys are wondering where I get all my shears, I get all my shears from Shear Police. You can use the code Eddie. You can save 10% off of those shears. So here we go. We got a little bit on this side. And this is just for these upper lengths, just to get some of this hair to chill out. Like, you know, sometimes your clients be taking a nap in the car before they come in. Get that bed head going. Let me ask you guys, we had a situation. I'm gonna tell you guys about a situation in here once upon a time. You guys ready? You guys ready for story time with Mr. Eddie Barber? All right, you guys know Chad, right? You know I love Chad. And I hate when customers try to take advantage of Chad's kindness, because he really is one of the most kind barbers. But I just thought that you guys would find this funny. So this was a long time ago. back when haircuts were $25, like shortly after I opened the shop. This guy walks in, he was a walk-in, and at the time Chad was new, so he was taking walk-ins, and he sits down and he begins getting his hair cut. He's got tattoos all over his face, and he's with a couple of buddies, and he says to Chad, how much is a haircut? And Chad's already cutting his hair. Chad goes, it's $25. He goes, that's fucked up.
I remember.
Yeah, he goes, that's fucked up. And I was like, I'm listening to see how Chad's gonna handle this. At this point, I'm not really bothering him. And then Chad looks over at me and he goes, yo, how much is a haircut, Ed? This gentleman needs to know. I said, it's $25. He says, that's fucked up. So before I tell you what I did, what would you do? You know? Just go ahead and answer me right there. Write a comment. What would you do? I have a number 2 in my hands. I'm gonna get rid of all this, some of this bulk here, and then we're gonna fade his beard in really nice at the top. I'm gonna get aggressive with it. I don't really care about the bottom stuff right there. Just up here. Let me show you how aggressive we're about to get. Let me show you how aggressive we're about to get. Completely bald right there. Y'all like that? Can we come back from that? Oh, can we come back from that? I'm gonna get rid of all that. All right. So back to this number 2. Nobody answered, man. Nobody answered. He said, "What'd you do?" So when he looked at me and he said, he said, "That's fucked up." I looked dead at him, and I know how to deal with these people. I looked right at him and I said, "You can get the fuck out of here if you don't like it." Now I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna have a problem with him. I feel like you were there that day.
I was
You were there that day.
I was
Holy
in
shit.
the chair.
You were in the chair.
I was in your
Perfect
chair.
time to tell the story. He was there. So
Every Friday at 3.
So I told this guy, I was like, "You get the fuck out of here if you don't like it." And you know what he did? I mean, I thought that he was gonna want to maybe say something or nothing, but you know what he did? He just shut up, got his haircut, and left. That was the end of it. It was almost like he was just testing the waters. Like, hey, what can I get away with over here? Okay, apparently that's. He was like,
nothing.
I guess that's it. So, and that might not be my best customer service moment, but like, sometimes with certain people, especially with the tattoos on their face, and he was kind of acting like he was some gangbanger or something like that. Like, some of these people, bro, they just see some weakness and they try to attack that. All right, so for his mustache, I'm gonna take it down to a 1. All I did so far was I just took a 2 everywhere else. I'm gonna take it down to a 1 with the mustache. Good. And it's time to go to work with the trimmers. They're laughing over there. Jay beats some waves. I see you laughing. All right, so let me see if I can get you real close up on this. All right, you can kind of see what we're doing. Don't stare at the camera. It's weird. All right, so here I'm gonna.
I don't want to stare at the Bills pictures.
All right, just look at the Bills. Look at the Bills jumping over your people. I'm joking. I got the Bills over here. All right, you got to hold steady now. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is a little trimmer over comb at the top here, and we're gonna top the top of his mustache. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes to have a bunch of hair hanging over, and the corners of the mustache too. Nobody likes that either. Scratch it?
No.
Okay. So next one. There ain't no reason to leave a bunch of hair in the corner of their mustache. That kind of sucks. So I always try to clear this out. And now, I'm gonna have you sit there. Just pull your lid down. Maybe sit down a little. There you go. Suck that thing down. Alright, so here we go. I'm just clearing out some of this stuff up here towards the top of his nose. And this is where like a wider blade would actually come in handy here. I don't be moving around on me now. You let me do. Alright, just go regular. See that? Y'all had to make him relax his muscles, because I just didn't want him to wind up moving it on me and messing me up, you know. So this is actually where I like to start, like as far as making the lines. A lot of times I like to start like literally right here, right off of the mustache. And the reason for that is pretty simple. It's just because I can look at him front on and make sure that his lines are even on both sides. Hopefully without bumping over my camera. But that's pretty good. So we're gonna wipe out a lot of the top of his beard right here. With that pretty much gone, and we're gonna fade that in. But before we do that, look up. All right. You want me to put the headrest here? You're good. All right. He's got a strong neck. All right, so we're gonna just follow his jawline. This is where you're gonna see these trimmers. They're gentle and they hit. Look how close they cut.
Yeah, it's fine.
Not scratching, right?
Nothing.
Kind of like to kind of create my outlines. I think somebody asked me to critique your work. We're gonna do like a weekly critique me for the channel members. So what I'm gonna do when I go live with my computer, I can't do it right now because I'm not on my Ecamm software. But when I go live with my computer, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a weekly critique for members. So what that will be is you guys will send in your pictures, and I'll critique your work. And I'll tell you what you need to work on. We're gonna do that on lives, like for everybody can see that. So weekly, here, actually, look up again. I'm trying to use my mirror so I can see if I keep a straight line here without getting in front of you guys. I've been putting in so much work with these sabers. Like, honestly, if they were to start giving me trouble, I wouldn't be surprised. But it just seems like they keep on keeping on. Especially right here. This is a place where a lot of trimmers are gonna snag. I mean, I'm tempted to try picking up another pair just to see. Like, what do you guys think? You guys want me to try a different pair? Hold up, don't. You guys remember these from the last video? He don't know. So, all right, let's just see if there's a difference here. All right, that's good. It's good so far, so good. Definitely not making the line that I was used to. I feel like a tiny bit of drag. I feel like a tiny bit of drag with that. Well, when I go with these ones, it just seems to just almost like it's like it crunches. It just sort of like crunches the hair. You could kind of feel it. That's why you got to get comfortable with like clipper over comb. I mean, you really do, because clipper over comb means that you're going to be able to do trimmer over comb, and it means that like when little issues like what just happened there. A lot of times when you cut somebody's hair with a number 2, it'll get like really thick here. You can just use your comb and just knock it out. I mean, I know that looked like a simple move to you guys, but it takes time and it takes practice to learn.
That's when I started to become a member.
Oh yeah, how to become a member? So the way you become a member is you just actually you could look at the drop down in this live, and in every single video I just realized that there's actually a little drop down link. So if you click the description, it'll be in the description. So. Here we go. You know what? I'm going to switch over to a taper blade, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blend this in now. So I'm going to start with a number 1. I start with it open, and I'm going to cut some of this hair. Begin closing it up, and when I close it, I'm going to stay a little closer to the top. All right. So that's good. Now I'm going to start with it wide open. Go right down where I was. And I'm just going over the very top part of that line. And I'm going to begin closing that, and I'm going to stay a little bit higher. This is the same thing in reverse. using the corner, and again, using my taper blade because I want forgiveness. I wanted that to blend in just like that. So it looks really good. When people look at it, they can see the extra work went into the beard, and it's got a really nice blend there. So swap them to this side. 44 people been hanging out this whole time. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate you guys. We'll do it this a little bit different this time. I'm gonna go about this far down with it open. So you guys can maybe see a little better like this. Close it all the way and begin opening it and going down a little bit at a time. So we're all the way open again. See how easy that is? Very, very easy. Now I can go back to the number one and start with it open, and I'll close it down. Don't whistle any songs, actually. You'll get demonetized. God forbid you whistle like a Maroon 5 song or some shit, you're done. MGM, boy, they gonna crack down on you. Send the hit boys out there. Alright. So, there we go. I'm gonna shave him up. And then we're gonna do our last little bit of detailing and stuff. But I mean, really not bad. I mean, how long we been going live for? We got 41 minutes. We got his hair cut. We got most of his beard done. And this would be like a more accurate amount of time that you would see in a haircut. And I did it while explaining. So I'd say that was actually pretty good. Who's cut any hairs that stick out of his nose? Make sure you spray your trimmers when you're done. All right. So let's go ahead and let's put some Tomb 45. Clean off the little hairs. And I'm going to show you guys something cool about this Titleist razor, because his beard is really thick. His beard is really thick, all right? And that coarse hair, I mean, it could be so easy to cut them. So I'm actually gonna move up in quality to a better blade. I'm gonna use a feather artist blade. So with a feather artist blade, it's gonna be able to just cut right through all this bulk pretty easy. So I got them lubed up. Before I do that, I wish I had my Uno. I think I got my Uno out there somewhere. I don't want to grab it because I'll get demonetized if I open that door. Music might come in. So I just had to go like this one more time. And I'm just going to use the electric shaver above the mustache. Just because I'd rather break that down a little bit before I hit it with the razor, so that it'll be a little bit more comfortable for him. So let's get a feather artist with a Pro Guard blade out. And I'm actually going to get rid of this blade. This blade is great. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to put this blade in. It sits in there just like this. And the top part is a magnet. It just sticks just like that. So there you go. That's what you got. So then, right before we go, I put a little bit of water on my hand. I'm not going to just hose them down. And we're gonna put this